What is going on, guys? My name is Kenji and welcome back to the channel. Hopefully it's not the first time that you're watching one of my videos, but just in case it is, I'm a final year medical student and a biomedical science graduate studying King's College London. In this video, guys, we're going to be talking about burnout, which is something that I myself have suffered from on a number of times. And if you've been there before as well, then you know how difficult it can be to go through burnout. And just in case you're not aware, burnout is essentially a set of symptoms that a person feels when they work too hard beyond what is normal, beyond what is healthy, to a point where they actually start to experience a set of symptoms in their body that can definitely affect their mental health. So after being in university for around about 8 years now, I'm going to be telling you guys about all the steps that I've applied in my life to help me avoid burnout and to help me get through medical school and reach the goal of being a doctor. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first tip that I have for you guys, and probably the most important tip, is to try and find a schedule that works for you. And the reason why that's so important is that if you don't actually find a schedule where you say, okay, for these hours I'll be working and for these hours I'll be chilling and recovering, then you may actually accidentally find yourself in this constant cycle of working. So for me personally, I try and set my working hours to do with, work at university or work on my YouTube channel from 9 to 5 p.m. Sometimes I may push it up to 6 or 7 p.m. But generally speaking, from 9 a.m. till about 5 p.m. I'll spend my hours going to the hospital and studying for all of my exams. Outside of those hours, literally as soon as 5 o'clock hits, then I'm moving on to my next thing, which might be going to the gym, it might be hanging out with my friends, it might be spending time with my family or my girlfriend. And that's super important for me because I make sure that after 5 o'clock, no matter what I have going on, no matter how much work I have, I will make time to see my friends, my family, and do things that will help my mental health. That also includes weekends. For me personally, again, I'm not really much of a weekend worker. I try my best to fit all of my hours of studying, all of my hours of working and everything during the week from Monday to Friday, so that Saturday and Sunday I can take off, and if I do have a bit of work that I need to finish off, I may do 1 or 2 hours here and there. But generally speaking, I like to take my entire weekend off to spend time chilling and recovering from the last week, so that on the next week I have the energy to keep going. And that's simply just how I personally work. What's really important in university, in school, or wherever you are, is to try your best to find a schedule that matches you. Find a schedule that matches how your body works and how much work you're actually able to take on. Some people might be able to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and that's completely fine. Some people might like getting up early in the morning and starting work at maybe 4 or 5 a.m. and finishing a bit earlier. That's completely up to you, but make sure you find a schedule that factors in both your working life and also your social life as well. And once you find that schedule that works for you, stick to it like glue, and it'll really help you guys out. The next tip that I have for you, which kind of also feeds off the last point that I gave, is to try your best to schedule your breaks. Now for me, that's super important, because if I don't actually put my breaks into my actual calendar, and I don't say that, Kenji, Friday evening you're going out for dinner with your friends and Wednesday afternoon you're taking that off to do YouTube or to go to the gym or whatever, then I can sometimes find myself automatically just sitting at my desk and studying for as long as possible. So what I do the first thing in the morning when I first wake up and I sit at my desk is I say to myself, okay, what are the hours I'm going to be spending working and studying? And secondly, where in that actual work schedule from 9 to 5 am I actually going to take breaks, and also after 5 o'clock. So again, for me, that is an hour for lunch. I make sure that every single day I have an hour to eat my lunch and to catch up with my friends or whatever that might be. But then in the evening from 5 o'clock, I'll then schedule in things that I want to actually look forward to, like the gym, like playing Call of Duty as well on my Xbox as well. And also within that 9 to 5, I'll definitely make sure that I schedule a few coffee breaks here and there throughout the whole entire revision schedule or work schedule I have, and therefore making sure that I'm not working harder, that's actually healthy and it's actually possible for myself. So if you find that you have an extremely busy week coming up, make sure that within that whole entire work schedule you have, schedule in a coffee break to have coffee with your friends, schedule in an hour and a half to go hit gym halfway through the day. Whatever works for you, just make sure that throughout your schedule you are giving yourself enough time to recover and recuperate for the next time that you go back to your work. That's the second tip. Let's move on to the third one. And speaking of actually taking breaks, one of the things that I actually personally do throughout my breaks when I'm actually studying is watching a class on Skillshare, who are also kindly sponsoring the video. If you guys haven't heard it by now, I've spoken about Skillshare multiple times on my channel because I love them so much. Skillshare is essentially an online learning platform, a community for learning new skills. They have tons of courses on their platform, from filmmaking to studying for exams to pottery, like literally any sort of skill that you want to learn. Skillshare definitely has a class on there for you. I actually love the platform of Skillshare so much that I made my own classes on there, which you guys can go ahead and watch. The first class I made on there is all about how to write a first class essay. So I take you guys through the whole entire essay writing process from start to finish. Make sure that you get a first class or a high grade, as high as possible, that you can possibly get on your essays. The second class that I have on Skillshare is all about how to get into medical school. So again, I made a full entire course that you guys can watch about how to actually apply for medical school, how to get work experience, and finally how to secure your place at a top medical school. One class on Skillshare Skillshare that I really enjoyed and I've watched many times over was by MKBHD, and on his class he actually takes you through the entire filming process of how he makes his videos on YouTube, and that has really helped improve my YouTube game with my lights and my recording setup, and it was definitely worth my time watching. If you guys would like to check out Skillshare for yourself, then the first 1,000 people who click on the link down below in the description will get an entire month of Skillshare completely for free. My honest advice would be at least to sign up for the free trial, watch all of my classes on there completely for free, watch MKBHD's classes as well if you want to, and if you try it out and you decide you actually like Skillshare, and I'm sure you will, then you can sign up for the full subscription, or if you change your mind, you can go ahead and cancel the subscription, no questions asked, that's completely fine. But that's Skillshare. Let's go ahead and get back to the video. So the third tip that I have for you guys, which again is super important, is to listen to your body and your mind. Oftentimes in my past, when I've actually led to being burnt out, was because I wasn't honestly listening to my body and listening to my mind. For example, one thing that I know about me whenever I start to get the feeling of actually getting burnt out is I start to get massive headaches and my mood starts to get a bit more negative, and I definitely start to feel a lot more tired. And now straight away, I know that if those red flags come up and I start getting headaches and feeling that sort of way, then I know that I'm definitely slowly going down the path of being burnt out. And that's really trying to listen to my body. As well as that, I also try and listen to my mind. So again, if I start feeling a bit sad or I feel like I'm getting a bit too tired or stressed, again, for me, that is a red flag to tell myself that I need to take a break, I need to calm down, and then actually go back to my work once I feel better. So to make sure you don't get burnt out, make sure that you're always asking yourself, how am I feeling? You know, how is my mindset right now? How is my body feeling right now? And if you get any of those red flags that mean that you're not feeling very well, make sure that you take a step back again and take a break from your work. Maybe reach out to your friend for help, or do whatever you feel like doing to deal with stress as best as you possibly can. So my major advice to avoid burnout, again, would be to listen to your body and also your mind as well. Let's move on to the next tip. The final tip that I have for you guys, which is somewhat controversial, is to take a forceful break every now and again. Now, what I personally mean by that, and I've spoken about this on my channel like quite a few times now, is that in medical school particularly, there are times where they don't give us breaks at all. You know, they barricade us with exams coming up, they barricade us with coursework, and we have so much to do, and sometimes honestly it can be extremely overwhelming to the point where I kind of have to take a forceful break. What I mean by that is that maybe I'm studying for exams and maybe I have a bunch of coursework that is lined up, and maybe I kind of have to work on Saturday and Sunday, but I know deep down inside my heart and in my mind that if I'd actually work on Saturday and Sunday, then I know for certain I will go ahead and be burnt out completely. Now, if I know that's coming up and I feel like personally that is quite likely and I'm likely to be burnt out, I have to kind of put my foot down and say to, you know, everyone and say to my work that I'm going to take Saturday and Sunday off, no questions asked. I'm literally going to fly to Spain, or I'm going to like sit in my bed all weekend and do absolutely nothing. And that happens to me quite often, to be honest with you. A few weeks ago, I had a bunch of work that I needed to get done. I had an exam coming up in a couple of weeks, and I said to myself, like, honestly, I can't do this. I need to go for a break. And I took a flight. We went to a Spanish island for a weekend. We literally spent 2 nights there, enjoyed ourselves. And when I came back on Monday, I actually realized that I have way more than enough energy now to bang out all of my work and get it finished. And I ended up meeting the deadline on time anyways. So if you reach that stage in your life and you feel like things are getting too much, maybe reach out to your personal tutor and tell them that you actually need time off. Maybe you need, 2 or 3 days just to actually recover. Sometimes I've emailed my hospital admin staff and I've said to them that, I'm really sorry, but I need 2 days to actually recover from something. And 9 times out of 10, they reply saying, that's completely fine, Kenji. Take 2 days off and no harm has been done. So make sure that you're always listening to your mind, listening to your body. And if you do need to take a forceful holiday, obviously make sure that you're not like missing major deadlines, and make sure that you're telling the right people so that you don't get in trouble. But as soon as you do that, go ahead and look after yourself, and I promise you it will be worth it. And those are my main tips to avoid burnout in university or in school. I hope that has provided some sort of value to your life. If it has helped you out in one way and you've taken away one thing from this video, then please make sure you drop a like down below. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on. Leave a comment to let me know how you personally deal with burnout. And before you leave, here are a bunch of videos I've made previously on my channel that I hope you guys enjoy as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.